Why, hello, my shopties. Welcome to the stream. It's lovely having you all here. We're gonna have a bit of a scuffed stream in the beginning as I figure out what my computer is capable of and what it is not capable of. Things should speed up very soon, but hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. It's lovely having you. I'm Lord Ramses, your resident pharaoh, back from the dead. It's lovely seeing you all here. It's wonderful. We're playing Goose Goose Duck today, and I am doing it with a bunch of other streamers. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a fun time. So yeah, hopefully things will go well. I'm sorry if there's any lag or anything, but we're gonna hope that things aren't too laggy. I'm just kind of waiting on everybody else here to make sure that all is good. I'm gonna change my controls. Okay, so it's WASD. So yeah, let me see how everybody else is doing. I'm just trying to wait because we're gonna all give introductions soon. Because multiple people are streaming this. There's multiple different perspectives, and I want you guys to be able to know who is streaming and who isn't. So you can go check them out. And yeah.
With
All right.
my new friend Ramses.
Oh, hi. I'm starting introductions.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, everybody. People in my stream already have seen this, but hi, everybody. I'm Lord Ramses, your resident pharaoh back from the dead. It's lovely seeing you all here. I'm a variety streamer. You can find me over at Crypt Ramses, and I do all sorts of games, and I like to talk about a bunch of random topics that go from the absolutely bizarre to historical to crazy, hilarious things. So it's lovely to meet you all, and thank you so much for having me here today.
You are welcome. I am very glad to have you here today. Let's go next with Rika.
Oh, hi.
Drea says that she can't hear.
I just sometimes.
My apologies. No, you're absolutely right. Hold on. Ramses, you're gonna do that again.
Oh, you want me to introduce myself again? Also,
Yep.
I'm getting a bunch of follows, so thank you so much for the follows, Teacup and Aurora Luke. You guys are in here, aren't you?
Yes.
I feel like
Yep.
y'all are great. All right, let's do this again. Hi, everybody. I'm Lord Ramses, your resident pharaoh back from the dead. It's lovely to have you all here. It's lovely to see you all here. Thank you so much for having me. I am a variety streamer that streams all sorts of random content. I tend to do story games and all that whatnot. I tend to talk about topics that range from like the absolutely crazy to the really funny to horrific. So yeah, come hang out at my tomb anytime. And again, thank you guys so much for having me.
Yes.
Oh my
We
gosh,
are
you all
very
are
glad to have
following
you.
me. Chill.
Yes,
did you
please.
say?
Go follow bomb all these people.
There is no chill. There's
None.
no chill here.
Next up, we have Rika. Say hi, Rika.
Babe, why do I hear you 7 times? Sorry, that was so annoying. What just happened to me?
It's a proximity chat, I think.
All right, now it's time for Rika's big follow moment.
Yeah.
Ah, thank you. I don't do introductions, so I guess hi, hello, I'm here. Rat.
Okay, good enough. That's fine. You don't have to be a big it doesn't have to be a big showy introduction, but we just want to give you a chance to talk about yourself if you want to, and let people get to know you.
Oh, I have anxiety. No thanks.
I fully understand. Again, I am forcing myself outside my comfort zone here.
Totally valid,
Thanks
totally
for
valid.
Rika.
Yes. Let's have
Mostly horror games, actually. So this is like really weird.
Oh, really?
Ooh, we like horror games.
I just want you all
She
to know
liked
that
it this
because of
weekend.
this,
I'm something
because
of a
of
horror
this,
game
I just
myself.
hit my 2023 follower goal. So thank you.
Hell yeah, congrats.
Hey!
Oh my god, your emotes are bread.
Yes.
I'm sorry, can I just quickly say, Drac, I'm going to be right back really quickly.
Of course, no worries. Let's have Zaruk do an introduction now.
Hi, Zaruk Windcaller, Guardian of the Forest of Memories, at your service. But you can find me at Zaruk Windcaller at Twitch. On Twitch, my chat is actually watching this right now as well. I'm a variety streamer playing a number of games that have strong memory connections to me or to my friends. I've been streaming for about, I think, a year now, and this is my first big collab with Nick. So I appreciate the invitation. Oh God, here it comes.
You're very welcome. Hopefully, this will be another strong memory attachment game for you once we make some memories here.
Yeah,
Hell
that's
yeah.
the plan. Making memories.
Hell yeah. Let's have Val go next. Wait, Val doesn't want to do an introduction. We're not doing introductions.
Yeah, it's funnier if I don't.
Okay, here's Val, everybody. We're not introducing Val.
Val's just here.
Yeah, by request.
I didn't know it was
Val,
that easy
we
to
don't
opt
talk,
out.
we don't talk about Val. Val just hides in the shadows, waiting.
We don't talk about that.
No! No!
Instead, we will introduce Aurora. Say hi, Aurora.
Hello there, my name is Aurora Luckvale. I am the Queen of Madness and the Goblin of Chaos.
Wonderful introduction. I love that.
I am a variety streamer. I do a lot of random content, but I'm mostly just here for love, fun, and happiness with my new friends.
Are you a sheep?
Yes.
That's
we can't tell
adorable. And yeah, don't tell the big dragon.
Which big dragon? We have many.
Honey. No one's talking about you, Nick. It's fine. Settle down.
How rude. I do all of this for you, and then this is how you treat me.
Yeah, sounds about right.
It's okay. I love to be abused. Anyway, we're gonna gloss over that, everybody. We're gonna gloss over that.
Rewind, clip that, play it 300 times.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know if I want to gloss over that.
Say hi to everyone, Brioche.
Oh yeah! Hey everybody, I'm Brioche. I do a lot of different games. Oh my god, the noises are starting. I play horror games, shooter games, roguelikes. I do whatever I want. I draw pretty pictures. I scream. I drink caffeine, and I'm funny sometimes. Probably not. Thanks for having me here. I can't wait to be a nuisance for the rest of the game.
Oh.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Let's see here. Who's next? Let's have. Regrettably, we will introduce Kaizad now.
Oh, regrettably.
Everyone, I am Kaizar Titty Shot, the Broken Crimson Dragon, and I am known for horror vor and so much more. Thanks for inviting me yet again.
You are welcome.
That was amazing.
We will now have an introduction for a one Alicia. Say hi, Alicia.
No. Hi,
No,
I'm Alicia shape-shifting Banui from the Earth. I'm just glad to be here. Honestly, glad that I made it. Because my internet's been fucking me over.
Yeah, I know.
And that's not who's supposed to be fucking you over.
There's been a lot of the fuckingings happening these last few days.
Well, hopefully
And I will not
today
elaborate
will
on
be
such.
a better day. Because you're gonna get to have a good time here with new friends.
That sounds like fun.
Let's now introduce Tanks. Say hi, Tanks.
Hello, everybody. My name is Haru Kuramaru. I am your local white mage medic at your service. I am half Ellison and half Makote, and for those of you who don't play Final Fantasy XIV, half Elf and half Neko. I spend most of my time streaming just whatever games I feel like playing. I try to dedicate to myself to like a list of long games each week, but it's whatever happens. This is actually my first collab with anybody outside of my own two partners, so
Yeah, I
there's
feel
that.
honored.
But thank you guys so much for having me, and I'm really excited to play today.
You're welcome. We are glad to have you. Abster, are you ready for an introduction?
I am.
Awesome.
Hello everybody! My name is Abster, the Wholesome Wolf Dragon. I am a variety streamer as long as the game's called Genshin Impact. That's the joke. I am here to run around aimlessly, I think that's the goal. Yeah, I'm excited.
Alrighty.
Hey, yo, a fellow
I think
Genshin
that's
player.
everyone. There is a Skynide lurking in the shadows behind me. Oh, are you ready?
Yeah, I made it.
Perfect. Do an introduction then, if you will.
Howdy, folks. I'm Skynide. Skynide the Wolf Dog. Skynide Poisoning on Twitch, and I'm trying to do a bit of a mix-up of the brand here. But I am a variety furry PNG tuber. My whole character aspect is an NCR Ranger who's on retirement and decided to start sharing his transmissions with friends. After that, a bit of a variety streamer, although I play a lot of stuff that's kind of near and dear to my heart. And my biggest thing is I kind of prefer if you lurk, just because I like to know that I'm getting a safe place to exist where you don't have to feel like you have to do anything.
Hell yeah.
Wonderful.
Make sure you stay snuggle, my friends.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
A nuclear winter.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody, for all the follows. You all are super appreciated.
Oh yeah. But that should be everyone here then. We might have people jumping in and or out as time goes on, just depending on who all shows up and or who has to go early, depending on how things go. For right now, just a quick recap for everyone I am collabing with, and also for our viewers. We are going to start this in the most default fashion possible, because some people have not played this game. It's very simple. If you are a goose, you try to live and do tasks. If you are a duck, you try to kill geese without getting caught. That's it. We will add more layers. Okay. We will add more layers as we go through, as quickly as we can manage it. Because I know the base game's a little boring, but I do want to make sure we get the basics down, because some people legitimately have not played a game like this.
I'm one of those people that have not played this game. I played Among Us, but honestly, I'm willing to be. I read all the roles beforehand, and I'm willing to be just thrown in the deep end whenever anyone else is. So.
Okay.
It will be fun.
Yeah, that's more than I know, but I'm happy to just drown.
Sink or swim. Sink or swim.
Drown together, y'all.
Before we go, does everybody have
I like
their
baptism under fire.
in-game proximity chat set up? Because sometimes it gets wonky and doesn't recognize the mic right away.
Yes. Also, I'd
mine.
like to give you all another quick thank you because you guys helped me push me to my 70 follower goal. So.
Hey yo!
60. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong one.
Expect more post stream. I'm planning on sending. I'm planning on sending folks all your guys' way at the end of the stream, so expect more.
And I'll be
Oh my
searching for
god.
everybody's Twitters too, so
Yes.
y'all better have
Yes.
the information in your abouts.
I should have everyone's info right now if we need it, so you can always grab it from me later if you can't find
What
it.
was that?
I am managing a few things at the moment right now, so it might be a little hard to get it right now.
Totally fine.
But yeah, this game has proximity chat, so you'll be able to hear all of us when we're near each other, talking to each other. These PNGs are gonna not really be used beyond now, and except maybe at the end if we decide to do that.
Bye-bye, PNGs.
Yes, bye-bye PNGs. We're gonna go ahead and mute here in the Discord, and use the in-game proximity chat.
I think I'm
Heck
gonna
yeah.
close my Discord because it's.
I'm gonna close mine too.
Yeah, me too.
Sure.
Just let me know in proximity chat.
In case anyone needs to reach me, if you're having an issue with proximity chat or something.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
See y'all on the other side. All right, we're gonna close that Discord. Quit that. Get out of here. All right, everybody. So we are now here. We are now queer. We are now ready to persevere.
y'all hear each other?
Yes.
Why,
There
hello.
is no closer to my mic.
Yes.
I just wasn't
Hi.
Wonderful.
closer to you.
Attention
That's
Can y'all
gamers.
at least hear me?
It is Nyx, but it's
They're just
better.
loud and
What's
I'm
that?
always
Hello.
that's my trait.
Am I audible or are we
You're
good?
the least
There we go.
annoying.
I think I'm hearing
Aw.
everybody.
I think
Oh,
I hear
come
Give
everyone.
them a complex. I'll hear about it all
I think I
night.
can hear everybody too.
If you go into your settings menu, you can adjust players' volume individually if you need to. So.
Oh, that's actually really good.
Gosh.
Yes.
Test.
I have
Test.
like the dude that stole.
You're cutting out a little bit there.
Yeah, you're coming in and out.
Yeah.
Your,
X's and check
your
marks.
pickup is
Good
probably
news,
too
I'm
high, honey.
significantly louder.
Whoa.
Alright, how about now?
Whoa.
There we go.
Hooray.
All right,
Okay, that's
everybody.
I have a
Strap in. Here we
mild
go.
with the fact that
You
I
guys got
can't
me?
pick my color.
So here's my
I
question.
need
You guys
my
can hear me
fucking-
well, right?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Nice.
Miles said, am I good? Did I fix it out?
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you fart?
Wait, you can fart?
Yeah. I cannot.
You can even
the
design
only
your
thing we
farts a little bit.
It won't let me fart. I am unallowed.
I don't think you can.
I am non-fartable.
Hey everyone.
There is
mostly
an option in the
Kaizad.
Can I get myself a cowboy hat and a jacket? Hold on, I need to find out if I can
If
have a
you can
jacket.
afford them, yes. Mostly Kaizad right now.
What?
Can we have
We need
everyone
money.
ready up when you're ready?
Get out of here.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was making sure everyone was.
We're fine.
All right.
All
All right, we're gonna go ahead and start then.
Oh. Oh. Oh, the game audio is so loud. I am so sorry, guys. I didn't notice. I turned it down. Hopefully that helps. Alright, so I'm a goose. Let's see here. Dum-ba-dum-bum. I don't know where anything is. Adjust ship temperature? So hello everybody. I'm sorry if it gets too loud again, let me know. Here, actually, I'll do this. Properties. I'll fix it so that way it can't peak. Again, I am so sorry, guys. I did not mean for that to happen. Filters. Limiter. That's on the ripsaw. Filters. Limiter. What's it on the ripsaw? That's incorrect. This one. Filters. They're gonna think I am, in fact, not what I am. Filters. I tested it before, but I didn't expect it to be as loud as it wound up being, so hopefully this is better. So yeah, thank you for letting me know. Again, sorry about that. Alright, I gotta figure out where I need to go. Oh, hi! Hey, I have a question for you.
Hi. Yeah, what's
Hey.
up?
Do you know where I adjust ship temperatures?
I don't know.
Oh no.
So if you have your mini map open, you can.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa!
Oh.
Well.
Oh, my task!
Whoa. Okay,
That was quick.
This
How
was
did you
get
get
there.
in? Wow, no, why?
This was at the top end of the electrical, next to the crew quarters. I didn't see anyone happening.
Okay.
What I will tell you I was doing during this whole time was I was actually trying to adjust the sound of the game this whole time because my chat was like blowing up being like, hey, the game is peaking.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I was trying to figure out how to shoot the ships. I thought it was a timing thing. No, I just had to not be an idiot and click on it.
Oh no.
I'm
All right,
skipping because
I'm
there's too
skipping.
many.
I honestly just
I'm
have no
skipping.
idea what's happening.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there are two dead!
Nothing can be done.
Yeah, guys,
Yes.
that's right.
Wait.
No.
Guys on die.
I don't know if I skipped or not. I'm scared.
Oh no!
Okay.
I can
Okay,
say.
I did. Yeah.
Just
I can
throws
say
your
though.
wind.
I can say without a shadow of a doubt, it's not Draconick. He would.
Thank you,
He
I
would have
appreciate
killed
that.
me.
Is my mic functioning now?
All right. Let's see if I can. Hello. Ship temperatures. Is sound better now? For all y'all listening in? Where am I?
The slowest game ever.
Oh, yeah. I'm in the cafeteria. Do I have to go to the hatchery? Is that where I gotta go? I am never gonna finish this task. I swear. I am so lost. This is the engines. How the fuck do I get to the hatchery? Is this the hatchery? I'm in the hatchery, and I do not... Where? Oh, wait, is that it? Oh, what's this? Okay, I have to get it to 117. Yeah! Okay, I figured it out now. It's the yellow dots, so that makes more sense. So I gotta go to the medical. Oh god, please. I don't know what is a wall and what is the floor. That is my... How do I get out of here? I'm stuck. Down here? Is there an exit? Help. Up this way? There it is. Okay. Okay. I just have to check them off. Yay. Okay. Weapons is close. Actually, crew quarters is closest. So I'll... Hello.
Brandy's.
What?
Manifold, and how do I clean it? What is a manifold and how do I clean it?
I don't know, but I did figure... Oh.
Ah, there it is. There it is.
Yeah!
So I've never played this
I lost.
before.
I was almost close to killing him. I'm so close.
I've never played this before. So Brioche, when you popped up next to me at the shooty thing, is that like venting or something? Because I was like, you shouldn't be there. And then I saw you two like together, and I was like, oh no, fuck this.
So I've discovered something.
Thanks for the death, by the way.
I will say, I discovered something for all my newbies here. If you open up the map, the yellow dots are where you're supposed to go. I figured that out.
That's what it is. Okay.
It took me longer than I'd like to admit to figure that part out.
Also, I heard one of you was
feels-
thinking about killing me. Which one of it was you? Who was it?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I was trying to lead you to the room because I saw. I'm so sorry. I'm I'm bad with names. Because I saw you and Brioche over there, and Brioche was the other one. We're about to get over there, and I was like, "Come on, this way. Get this way. Come here. You come into my parlor."
Oh no!
You're coming to my murder den.
I saw
Savage.
I saw you, baby, and Brioche and Draconick in a room, and I was like, no.
Yeah,
I just
I
turned off
heard
your
that.
screen because I could.
Law of averages says
and
nah,
I knew
fam.
Brioche vented to me, and I turned it.
Aggression.
Someone
I
was
died,
like,
like, 4
hey,
seconds
ready
into
to
the round.
die?
Torn, thank you so much.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah, you just go
finish my
ready to
fucking
die
task.
in 3, 2, 1, and
That
then you
was
count
so
down to 1. I just killed you.
My first task.
Oh, honey,
I'm
you need
sorry,
to purchase
guys.
You couldn't.
You have a purchase.
I could have lied for you too.
Yeah.
You just had to let me finish that task.
No.
What did you kill me?
Oh, you don't know, Brioche. You don't know. I'll lie for you.
No, I had empty.
Oh no!
Gaslight.
Dark helmet looking guy over here.
Who?
Oh my
Dark
god.
Lizard?
What are you doing?
I bet she gives great helmet.
I bet she has great.
I bet she does too. As someone who knows her, I bet she does too.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Oh god, this is
Before I
cursed.
leave the shop, give me 2 seconds. Okay, I'm good. I'm alive. It's fine.
They have no cap.
You
right
can
now.
access the
I
shop,
am
from
disappointed.
here. I almost had the shot.
Yes.
Hold on, I have to take my shots.
How does one access the shop?
So you have to like earn coins by like playing games, and you can spend them on the stuff.
Or you can.
Well, yeah, I knew that. I was exploring. Wait, is this
Or you
it?
could just buy them,
insanely
yes.
fun.
Or you can
Yeah.
just yeah.
Who wants to do that though? That's dumb.
Just say someone
Enough
I'll be
people
honest,
to pay for this game.
I am a dragon. I hoard my coins. Thank you very much. Real
Whoa.
quick, I have introduced some new roles because we want to make this interesting. Y'all said we want to ramp it up as quickly as possible.
Roles
So,
do we get?
We're keeping it still relatively simple for now. We have added a dodo role, which is a person who wants to get voted out. So they're neither good nor bad. They are simply trying to make you think they are bad and vote them out.
I would love to be that.
If they do, they win by themselves.
I want
There's
that.
there is also a sheriff role, which is a good goose who can shoot bad guys.
Oh.
Oh my god.
If you shoot a good goose,
I
you die.
love that.
Yeah, but if you shoot a good goose.
Yes, if you shoot a good goose, though, you will die. So
That's
you're
incredible.
You're betting your life. Yep.
It's
also
literally
added
Russian roulette.
Yep. I have also added the engineer role, which is simply a good goose that can vent.
Fuck
Hey,
is the
yo.
Kazoo Goose? Oh hi, it's you.
The Kafu Goose?
And I have added one variation on the bad rolls, called the cannibal. So this allows the
Yes!
This allows the duck to eat the corpse of the person.
Blood for the blood god!
Oh, so you just did vulture, you didn't do pelican.
I'm
I see
excited
how
for
it
when
is.
we add
I
the
see
crow
how it
one.
is.
I'm so curious for that.
We will add more. I want to make it so we at least are not overwhelming the people too much.
We want to slowly edge our way into this.
Ah, yes, edging.
Yes, we do love that.
Yeah, and a lot of people that I'm playing with
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, I'm sorry. Who's edging who? What's happening?
I'm listening.
Nothing.
Can I
We're all
watch?
good
I play
geese.
video games with my wife.
I would like-
That's exactly what happens.
Don't you dare lie and call me a good goose! How dare you!
Hey, did you know that geese have corkscrew dicks?
Yes.
I am actually very aware of that.
Mazes.
Geese have the same dicks as ducks.
Oh,
Yes.
I also didn't know.
They're all mallards.
That means
I hear who's dancing on their keyboard.
Also, yes, somebody is really bad at that keyboard.
That might be. Sorry, that might be.
Yeah.
You're okay. You're
I don't know how
you're
to
tap
stop it,
dancing.
though.
Your keyboard said mechanical.
It's really.
I'm gonna start the game.
Hey yo. Bye all.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
Collected.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
I'm swell, feeling a
Hello.
little bit evil.
Where am I
Hello.
going?
I hang out with you, I'm scared.
I'm scared too.
Let's
don't-
be scared together.
I don't know. I'm bad at
You
these
don't know.
games. You know, I don't know.
I'm also bad at these games. I'm just a really bad liar. Because I also
Yeah.
feel like bad about lying.
For real though.
Usually the only time people don't figure me out is when I'm like the good guy. Is it like I can't remember if like geese are the good ones or ducks are the bad ones.
Geese are the bad ones.
But
Which is really
Yeah.
funny considering that it's called, you know, what
Usually
it
Water's
is.
hot.
Is it?
yeah.
Is it hot? Can I?
It's wet.
Well, no, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think it
I
is.
like it.
Nice in here, look.
Brioche, you owe me quite a lot of money for that kill last round.
No,
You owe me quite.
I don't have any money. I
Bye.
have bread.
Right,
Oh,
Brioche. Don't just stand there.
hey, Brioche, what you doing, buddy? Oh, what you doing, Brioche?
I just saw
Hey, Brioche, what you doing standing over, I'm going to say, Val's body?
Over a body.
I don't know who it is, but I totally
What do you
did
mean
not
Tank
play
was
it.
standing over a body? Tank is no longer among the living.
You're right. It's
Tank saw
was-
something,
oh,
and I fucking ran over, and then Alicia is coming running over to me, and I panic hit R.
I think.
Okay,
it
wait,
was
hold on.
Kai'San. He.
What do you say?
Cyanide,
He
I
just
cannot
literally
hear
walked
you.
into the room.
I think Brioche is the
We
dodo.
Well,
literally just walked in. Do you think Brioche got that lucky?
I just saw Zaruk. He was asking me what noises I was making.
What noises were you making?
Yeah, but now I'm creeping.
The little goose feet go blip, blip,
died.
blip,
Holy
blip, blip,
crap.
blip.
Tippy tappies?
Yeah.
Tippy tap,
The
tippy
little goose
tappies.
feet, they go blip blip.
All right, we're gonna see if Brioche was indeed a
Dodo win.
Oh, please tell me it's the dodo win.
I should have. You know what? I should have guessed that considering I was the one.
I love that I was quiet the whole time. I killed somebody by Brioche and just let Brioche sit there. Even though I could have won the round by eating the body, I just was like.
I could have murdered more.
I don't know about that one.
You skip. What the hell? That's beautiful. That's cool.
Brioche, had you told me you were the dodo, though, I would have made this so much more obvious.
That was fast. That was probably one of the fastest games I've ever been in.
Brioche. Genuinely.
Absolutely
It
dealt
was
with
so
that.
Everyone else has outfits. I want to be a contestant. How
I was
expensive is
about
the
to
yellow
kill
money?
several people just for the laughs.
Everything. It's all for the memes and the lols, right?
Yeah, I was the sheriff.
It's
Oh,
Give me that
Also, Tank, I'm so sorry.
Don't really have any wizard outfits, so I guess we'll just have to go to this one.
And I see. What is it? I don't know who it is. The Cthulhu goose just running over on top of me. I panic. I'm like hitting R, screaming. Like, no, please.
Spare me, spare me.
What are you doing making people... That's not how you normally make people scream.
There's a lot of ways to make people scream.
Oh my god.
Everybody breathing okay? We good?
No. We're dying.
Good. I like a little bit of...
Die.
Yep.
I'll invite.
I'm okay.
I love the pitter patter of the feet.
Yes.
Listen here, you adorable sons.
We're all just
You
mucking about, aren't we?
following
We're
around.
just mucking about.
We got nothing to do. Nothing to do.
Everybody ready up.
All right.
Give me 1
Wait,
second.
who
I need
was
to
the goose?
adjust a little bit. Go.
Not goose, duck.
I think it was. I know it was Hazard, and then
It was Ramses. Yeah, it was Ramses.
Yeah, I was here.
His name
I was the cannibal.
Ramses. It's not fair that you were the cannibal. It's not fair.
I'm camouflaged.
It's okay. We still won.
Oh, that's true. No, you don't. You don't understand.
have a few minor updates.
A few minor updates.
Okay.
Yep. We have added the morphling roll, which allows you to shapeshift into other players. This is an evil roll.
I love it.
I have also added this is actually a two-part roll. The lover's roll.
Oh,
Yes,
can I please?
2 players who are bonded together, and you either live or die together. So if one of
Somebody
your
marry
lover
me.
dies, you will just die.
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah,
mean,
right now.
Yep. I can do the marriage thing. Come here.
Where are you?
It's till death do us part.
Have a ring, but I got chicken.
I got plenty of rings.
I have chicken.
I got plenty of rings. Ignore that they're all on collars.
That cut out just in
Oh.
Even you guys are.
ring, but I got
That's a good place to have them.
Yes.
Definitely like the tightening ones.
Everyone's readied up, so I assume we're ready.
Yeah, I mean, I hope nobody's readying up without being ready. I'm a goose. I'm just a goose. I'm just a little goosey goo. Oh, there's something up here. Ooh. Where? Where up here? Huh? What? Is it? Oh, it's you. There we go. Load. No, don't go backwards, thank you. Disinfect the shout. Oh. I'm all the way over here. Okay, let's go to storage. Peaches, 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 peaches.
No, I don't.
Peaches,
Hey, Ramsey's
peaches,
hi.
peaches.
Hi, Kai's
Hi.
Val threatened me.
Oh, Val's threatening you?
With a good time, or
No.
I could give you a good time. Oh,
I
hang
mean,
around
we
me
can talk
then.
about that.
Wait. If you're going to eat Drac, that's a good time for me at least to watch.
How do I? Oh, okay. That one goes there.
Okay.
This one go here. That one goes here. This one go here, and that one go there.
I can take a lot.
You can take a lot. Like what?
What are you giving me?
Nothing right now. Hi, how are you?
That's fine.
Hello.
Draconick is being sus.
Oh. Wait,
He just chased me, and he closed doors on me, trying to trap me.
Dragon, you being sus.
No, I'm not actually.
You scared me.
I
Very
didn't mean
weird.
to. If I did something, I apologize. Genuinely, I don't know. I'm merely
scared.
sorting my recycling. Thank you very much.
Look at me in the eye.
What's happening? What's happening?
Draconic chased me through a hall and then closed a door after and
so
waited
you
for
were-
me
you
to
were
finish a
offering-
task.
You were offering to give me something, and I wanted to hear you out.
Here, I'll give you a smooch.
Why do you keep closing
There.
doors, Drac? Hey, Drac, why do you keep
Draconic.
closing doors? What are you doing, Drac?
I simply cannot close doors. Not
I don't believe you because I just got closed. I just got locked behind a door.
I mean, that's fine.
Do we wanna vote Drac out?
Yeah, let's vote Drac out.
Is there like an
I don't know where to go.
meeting?
Oh,
Yeah, how do we call?
Hold on. Where is the emergency meeting? Rec room. Rec room is the emergency meeting.
I'm following you because I'm scared to be alone.
I don't want to be here alone. I'm scared.
Okay, come on. I will.
We're all little baby gooses.
It's okay. I can protect.
Goose moms.
Whoever pressed that button, I swear.
Dad, technically, but yes.
Oh, Goose
Who
Dad,
pressed
thank
it?
you. I did, because Drac is being sus.
Yeah, Drac is being very sus.
Drac chased me.
How many doors must you close, Drac?
Drac closed me into a corner while I was doing tasks, and not only that, while everybody ran off to go do their own tasks, Drac stayed in the room with me as I was doing my task, closed the door, and as I was talking, and I just was like, no, what's going on here? I was just singing
Tragedy
peaches.
of me is that I can tell the truth as honestly as I can.
How do I vote? That's the question.
Just click on
Drac, come on.
I
Val, you threatened me.
No.
No.
It sounds like all
Literally threw it around like that.
No, I was promised a threat, and I did not get to watch any threats, so I'm absolving Val for now.
Oh,
Somebody prepare to clip
God.
clip it.
Bye,
It's a long vacation.
Oh, that explains so much.
I literally tried to tell you.
That was really funny.
Okay,
I was
we're rolling for these dodos a little too much.
And Aurora's name was purple.
Can
and
a
I didn't
dodo- wait.
understand why.
Here's a question.
I didn't try to get caught there. I literally said, "Hey, don't vote me. I'm not actually it." I could have just leaned into it.
Gaslighting everyone.
Oh, wait, here's the
Purple name
question.
means.
Can dodos kill you?
No, dodos don't have the killing power.
Okay, then that changes a lot. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, there are actually 3 classes.
No,
There's
they're
a
just
goose, a
they're
duck, and
just
a neutral.
a little fed
And
up with the
dodo's
way
a
the
neutral.
world is.
Oh, okay.
Damn. That's a mood.
I was a
He's a dodo enabler, says my chat.
The dodo enable.
I'm the dodo enabler. Okay,
like a
you
great-
did
No, stop
you
it!
did chase me into a corner. Although I gave you a little smooch. I give you another smooch.
No, stop it!
Aw.
Who wants smooch? I can give smooch.
Oh.
Let me
Just
help
give it
Sexy.
up. I'll take
Yeah,
some smooches.
Smooches.
Wait,
You
hold
want
on. We're doing
smooch?
smooches. Where are the smooches?
Perfect.
Mwah.
Discuss.
Hang on. Is there a
Aw,
smooching
that was
corner?
Nice.
I am the smooching corner.
Corner? No. I'm not in the
Smooching
smooching corner.
corner.
Nope. Away from. Nope.
No one
Sorry,
It's in the bathroom.
I'm a married imp, so can't do that.
How would they know?
We don't need.
Yeah, they won't know.
They'll never
We all know what's going
know.
on.
How would they
Right out in the
know?
open.
I'm okay with giving smooches. It's how I taste you all.
Smooching. You're
That's how you
smooching
taste?
your homies.
Oh my god.
You gotta smooch
I
your
can't hear you in the
homies.
game.
Exactly. Y'all are my homies, so I smooch all of you.
And I got
Forget
Yeah.
to kiss your homies goodnight.
All right, let's go
Hey,
again.
Benny.
Let's go again.
Hi,
This time, let's not be
Yep,
dodo
try it.
enablers.
Wait,
I have added some new roles.
Oh,
Hey, yo.
I gotta pee.
The bathroom's right there.
An aggressive piss.
I have a small list, and then he.
I will be less than 30 seconds. I'm going to piss there.
You know, Ramses. What's that meme? You know, damn boy, you fried chicken in there? That's the loudest piss I've ever heard. Or something like that. What's that meme?
I don't remember what it's called, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, that's good. Good.
Oh my gosh, a
I
pride
will
tea?
admit, I was about like 5 seconds from abusing my sheriff power and pulling a gun to try and, you know, just roll a dice.
Oh, that would have been so funny.
To do about it.
I'm gonna be 100%
That's
honest with you.
hysterical.
If I get sheriff, I'm shooting someone within 30 seconds. Like,
I
there's no
know.
question.
You're absolutely about no chill whatsoever. None.
Take a risk.
The first person I see is gone.
Just dead.
It went awkwardly silent.
Yeah. Just
Alright, back to the smooch corner.
Oh, smooch corner. Smooch corner. Come here. I can give smooch. Smooches. Mwah. Mwah.
Joke's on all of you. I'm just getting a taste test for later.
That's okay. I taste like beef
I like
jerky.
watching.
It's okay. I just taste like beef jerky and mildew, so don't worry about it.
Here, I'm gonna sit in the corner and pretend like I'm not looking, but I'm absolutely watching.
Okay.
Are you watching disrespectfully?
All right.
Disrespectfully.
Judging side
Brioche
eye.
is back,
Sorry,
so
I don't know
we
how
can
to
do the
read.
rolls.
All right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, rolls. Rolls.
We do have some new roles, everybody. The first one is the pigeon roll. This is a neutral killing roll. The way this works is you will simply try to go up to everyone and infect them with your diseasing disease. Yep, that's all you gotta do. So you want to just play tag. You're playing tag with everybody and trying to
love that.
My way through this shit.
I'm giving everyone bird disease.
I hope I'm the pigeon.
Yep.
Playing COVID tag. Gotcha.
I have also added 2 goose rolls.
STGs.
One is the
Sexually transmitted
Canadian.
disease.
The Canadian?
If the Canadian is
Oh,
they
yeah.
will immediately be reported. So there is no like leaving a body to hide. The person who kills them, it'll just get reported right on top of them.
That's so funny.
I've also added the politician role. All it is you are a tiebreaker in votes, and you can't be sent to jail.
Hey, Drac.
Oh wait, there's jail.
Wait. Drac, before we continue, can you add the little bit of time where the person who finds the body
absolutely
is the one that talks? I think that just helps a lot.
Yes. Okay. I have added one killing role. It is invisibility duck. So you can you might be able to turn invisible if you're a killer.
Just so everybody knows, when we report from now on, whoever reported the body gets like 10 seconds to say whatever they need to say. So nobody can talk over it. Everybody else is muted. It just helps a little bit with clarity on.
Does this also work for like emergency meetings?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Whoever
good.
starts it gets a little bit of time at the start.
Good.
Because that was one of the issues I had when I tried to report you last one. Not that I minded, because I'm very loud. I can be very, very loud. So it's fine.
You talk, I'll talk over you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep, sounds about right.
Let the U.S. Congress in here.
Use your mouse to move. Oh, okay, we're just fine.
Spin.
Okay, are we all good?
Yeah, we're all good. Oh, there they go. They're gone. I'm the lover. Who's my lover? OMG, who's my lover? Who's my lover? Where am I? I'm right there. Who's my lover? I want to know who I... Hello.
I like pants and I like pants.
Me
like
too.
Pants and...
I just want to know who my true love is. Who's my lover? What?
I eat every night.
Yeah.
Oh. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. And that goes there. Okay. Incubate the egg. Where's the egg? We like to party. We like to party. We like to party. Bitch ass motherfucker!
Oh, I found the body. I don't know
Bitch
where it
ass
was actually.
motherfucker.
I'm
Little
not used to this map
bastard.
yet.
Little bitch ass
I
bastard.
just passed you and I just left Zaruk with you. I feel like you probably killed Zaruk and Zaruk was Canadian. That's my guess here.
No.
I feel like it was
in the cafeteria doing my task. I was doing.
Yeah, I just left you with Zaruk in
dishwashing.
cafeteria. I was just beating up the vending machine, and Zaruk was saying, "Hey, don't beat up the vending machine."
I don't believe you.
Literally seconds ago, I walked into the office and did a little card swipe thingy.
So many people are dead.
It was a
A murder here happened here.
A massacre.
Oh,
I'm not surprised I got raised there.
Oh,
I'm
good.
not surprised. I always do.
Sorry, Drac, I gotta have someone I do memes on.
Well, this is where we're at.
Well, that was funny.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Well, I'm doing just
You deserve
fine.
that.
I lied. I'm dying.
I'm not sorry for
inside.
killing you.
Hey.
Hey, yeah, fuck you. I should have known. You're the color of a duck anyway. You look like a mallard. I should have known better.
I ate brioche. It was really funny.
I am so sad.
Stay sad.
I don't want to stay
I
sad.
was a pigeon.
I just
Congrats.
wanted to reunite with my lover. That's all I wanted.
Oh, that sucks.
Wait, so who's the other killer?
We can see the rolls because we're dead.
Yeah.
Huh.
Av's a sheriff. Tank is Dodo Bird.
It is Kaizad. Kaizad's a morphling.
Also, yeah, Hop, I promise if I get sheriff role, I will go around saying, "Stop right there, criminal scum," before I shoot
I was
somebody.
mugging people. I was shaking them down for money, and then I was about to kill Brioche while he was Dodo. And then somebody killed me before I could. It was really funny.
Thank God.
This is just a whole mess of a round, isn't it? This is the first time I've been killed, though.
I get that.
There we go.
Oh! Yeah!
I was right about Val.
Hell yeah!
I was right about Val.
Brilliant!
Wouldn't be the
Really?
first time.
happened?
I got murdered, and then both me and Aurora went down. Sad.
I didn't even think it was me!
I'm sorry.
Did we win?
We did.
Yeah.
Good guys.
No,
Hell
I
yeah.
want to know how you did, why you did that.
Because you ran towards next to the beds, and I got anxious, so I waited until you ran out, and if you chased
But I didn't.
me, I was gonna stab you.
I wasn't. What?
You chased me, I was gonna stab you.
I wasn't even chasing after you!
Incredible.
That statement. You're gonna chase me, I'm gonna stab you.
Corpse to get blamed for, and I couldn't find one, so I was just like, I guess I'll just be Goose.
Incredible.
I just wanted to earth kill.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay. I have made changes.
Oh, changes?
Game.
Changes.
Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last.
Oh, cool.
My taint smells strange.
I
You
don't
don't need to know that.
I think we're good.
Okay, so there is there is such a thing as song improv, but if you don't know the words, that doesn't mean you get to butcher it like that.
Dumb ways to die.
Oh god.
Get out of my head.
I'm excited for the clips to start rolling in.
Changes.
Yeah, so I said my taint smells strange. It's musical genius.
No, no, it is not.
What?
Time may change me.
The only thing being tainted here
I
is
can't change time.
innocence.
My innocence is being tainted every second I stand here.
I never had one.
You said the word taint entirely too much in this conversation already. It's starting to sound off.
Okay.
Maybe we could say taint a little bit more.
Lettuce.
I have made.
Taint's my favorite word.
I don't want to get banned. Stop.
Hey everybody! I have changes to the game. We should all listen to the changes to the game. I have added one role. It is the vigilante role. It is a good person role that can kill. There are no consequences for doing it. You just get to kill once per game.
I love that.
If it's good or bad,
That's
you can
awesome.
just kill someone.
I love that.
The other thing, I have changed not the roles, but actually the rules a little. So we're now introducing what is called draft mode, where at the start of the game, you will get to actually pick between one of a few roles, and you just get that role moving forward.
Oh, cool.
I love that.
So that way, because I know some people are probably like, oh, I've been Goose, like 3 times now, I can't do anything fun. I want to give people a chance to mix it up a little bit and, play what they like.
If I get vigilante, I'm
I
killing
caught the
Brioche.
ass end of that because my.
If I get vigilante, I hope I stumble
Beauty.
upon somebody killing someone in the moment.
The way draft works, you'll get presented with like 3 roles, and you get to pick one of the 3 you want, or something like that.
Okay. Yep.
But yeah, it should auto balance essentially to make sure these things happen. As someone picks a role, like for example, you only have X number of killers, it'll start taking killing rolls out of the pot.
Okay.
Let's go.
All
Sounds fun.
Our player.
So this is
player
your order
what?
in the
Oh yeah, don't mention what number you are.
Yes, don't tell your number.
I can work with this.
You guys are never gonna believe what number I am. Thank you for holding.
Your
Just
call is
elevator
really
music?
important to us.
I don't think it is.
Oh my gosh.
Tried.
Early copy.
I don't like the options I'm seeing here.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, blah?
See.
Blah, 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 blah?
You're doing great.
I am.
Oh,
Tell
no.
us a little bit more. Can you tell us just a little bit more about it?
Hold on.
I like draft. Draft is
Hold on,
cool.
thank you.
Yeah, draft
this is neat.
fair.
That was one of my biggest
It is
problems
a nice
with Among Us, because I would always get
I'm
imposter,
looking-
and I hated being an imposter.
I'm looking at the rolls picked off to the side. It's giving you all rolls that I have not added in yet, so I guess it reset the picks. So this
I
one's gonna be
never
chaos.
get imposter.
This is chaos.
I'll relimit the rolls again. I think when I swapped game modes, it undid my my selections. So
Yeah.
Well, I mean, now it's too late. Might as well sink or swim at this point. Oh no. Not a pigeon. Oh, this is gonna be fun. My love was Aurora when it happened. I'm stuck.
Hold on.
Oh, hi. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
What y'all doing?
What are you doing? Oh.
Nothing, actually. I just wanted to see what everybody was doing. Okay, I have to come up through here. Hello. Well, shit.
Excuse me, Zaruk? What was that? I, was sitting there with Kaizad.
I have no defense. Blood for the blood god. I have no defense. Blood for the blood god. Blood for the blood god. I have no defense.
I mean, you know what? It's kind of fair. I say we let him off.
What if he's the dodo?
No, there's no. I don't think there was a dodo in this round. I mean,
literally kill.
I don't.
It's
there with.
I'm going to refrain because in case of
Zaruk
dodo.
just fucking
Maybe.
ran
Wait, no,
away and
Dodo
stabbed
can't kill
Kaizad.
people. Remember?
Dodo can't.
Oh yeah.
Blood for the blood god. I have no defense.
Blood.
Blood.
Thorn does not care from whence the blood flows. Only
He only cares that it flows.
Oh my god.
Does blood taste good?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like the taste of blood.
Do you spooky float?
Goodbye.
I like cheesecake.
We won't miss you.
Oh, nice.
Corn will avenge me.
That was incredible.
Hello.
Hey.
That was great.
That was great. Where am I
Alright.
supposed to go? Where am I? I'm in communications. Okay. Hello. This one. Okay. You go here. You go here. You go here. You go here. This one goes up here, and that one goes down there. What? Oh, I see what I did wrong. There. Unclog the shower drain. That's disgusting. Oh, I gotta... There we go. Oh, I didn't finish this one. Ah! Who did
Wait,
it?
which way is it?
Where is it? We're all dead.
Where?
It's in
I
here.
don't know. There's too many walls.
Pick up the fire
Nice and toasty
extinguisher.
in
Pick
here.
up the fire extinguisher.
Man, this steam is going nuts.
I was doing.
Oh god, no.
Okay,
No,
good.
man,
Okay.
it's good.
Oh,
I got it.
Everything's fine.
they try to snuff us out.
Alright, so who's a bit crispy now?
I feel like I am.
Oh dear.
I'm a little toasty.
Hey, you.
Incubating.
Hello.
Little eggy.
Don't.
Enjoy my eggs.
I had.
Oh. Okay. I'm being.
There's a lot of people in here. Hello.
Yeah, we're just doing some. Don't mind us.
No, I'm not.
Yet.
It's like a good little lad.
Uh-huh.
God damn it!
Kill.
Fuck.
Oh my god, what is this?
I
Okay,
did it,
okay,
I
oh,
did
thank
it.
god,
Fine.
someone else dealt with it. I saw goddamn.
Somebody's got like a fucking problem. There's so many duties. Do. You are not the father! Oh god, okay. God!
Oh my god, the fire.
Grab the fire extinguisher.
Put him out, put him out, put him out, put him out, put him out,
Put it out. Put it out. Put it out.
God
Oh
damn,
my God.
what? Y'all are going absolutely ballistic.
Hello.
Hello. I'm
I don't know
lost.
where I'm going. I'm very lost.
Use the tap key, it'll help. I think this is the last. Ugh. Alright. I feel like I'm carrying this team. I'm getting so many done. Fucking hell, I'm not even. Lights are not that important to me.
Is something wrong?
Shit.
There we go. Is it? Yep, there we go.
The pigeon.
Oh my god!
Good job.
Good
No
job.
wonder you kept following
Told
me.
you she was gonna win.
I survived that with nothing.
Oh my god. I was just missing
Intruded on
one.
the conversation that
I got ganked
we didn't want you to
immediately.
hear, so I just off.
No, Alicia,
Yes,
I'm very salty about that. Because no, the three of you literally are roles that don't work together. And you all sat there to let me down.
Hold on. Draconick, stand over here. We'll stand over here and let you yell at us.
I was vigilante. I didn't know what Kai's and abs were. I was like, are you a duck? I was like, no, and then you popped up, so I killed you and looked back at Kryzad. You see, I'm not a duck.
And then I ate your body! And then I ate you!
I ate your body.
Alicia, that should have been your clue right there. Kaizad ate the body. There is no good roll that eats the body that you want to leave alive.
Yeah, there is.
Good point, good point.
Technically, she already used her kill, and 2 memes.
Listen, in defense of Unity.
You know, that's fair, that's fair.
You're playing with people who don't care about win or lose. We just care about fun.
Yeah.
We just care about what is entertaining.
I don't know how many people or killers I've walked past just making goose noises and no one's killed me.
I think you're just too precious of a bean. Like, it's just like, you know what? Let it live.
Oh, yeah, I was just so confused.
You know what?
Also, can I just come out and say, I was the serial killer. During the conversation, first thing out of my mouth is, I have no defense, blood for the blood god. And some of y'all are like, yeah, no, that checks. Let him live.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second.
Documentaries to people that just are so idolized by people that are like this. No.
It took me going.
Like one guy.
It took me going, hey, Dodo can't kill. And then you guys were like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, that makes sense.
But blood!
Yeah, I mean, fair.
We get a serial killer killing and all the Andres in the room go, okay, you know what?
You know what? Let him cook. Let him cook.
Let him
cook. Let him cook.
Couple of things. So, first of all, I do want to recap here. Y'all saw sabotages that time. If anyone doesn't know how that works, the bad rolls can call sabotages to end map or maybe end the game or whatever. When that happens, you just got to go to the thing and do the prompts to stop it.
I just happened to be everywhere where they were occurring, so I was just like,
Yes.
I guess I'll put out this fire. Oh, I guess I'll
Yeah,
light that
same.
down. That's cool.
It was pretty funny.
When the security went off, and I was like, oh, I'll do this.
Well, that's convenient.
Randomly locked.
That just happens to be
I
there.
was just like, what?
The other thing I need to say
Everyone
is,
arrived and it was like, fuck that thing. I was like, already done.
if we keep draft mode on, I cannot limit the rolls. So we're just gonna
Do it
roll
again.
and keep it on.
Draft again.
Yeah,
Do it
Yeah,
again.
let's draft again. I like
I play
this.
Mystery Heroes on Overwatch. Let's go.
Yeah.
It's very
We're just gonna
fun.
embrace the chaos.
All right, don't say your number. Don't say your number.
Do not say your number.
Yeah. I'm number 69.
Nice.
Funny number.
I'm number F.
Nice.
Nice!
I hate him. I hate. No, he's up for adoption, by the way.
Who?
Oh.
Oh, I'm her husband.
Oh.
I don't think we've ever talked. Yeah, I'm her husband.
Oh,
I just heard
valid.
you say honey all the time, so I just figured it was that. Something was
Yeah.
going on there.
I say honey.
They have a bomb to my head on my desk, and now it hurts.
Yeah, to be fair, I call a lot of people honey.
Oh no, we got a
You should bonk your
Canadian
head on
in
your
the
way
game.
out from under my desk.
Who dares
Stop
take
it!
this
Stop that!
thing
Stop
from
it!
me?
Hey, yo.
Who
Yeah.
dared? I
don't like this
Canadian. How dare you?
scenario. I don't like the Vulture, Canadian, and Sheriff all being in one game.
Wait, Alicia, you have not asked if anybody else is
Pelican.
Canadian.
Oh,
That is true. That is.
yeah, there's the power.
Oh, who took Pelican? I'm coming for you.
That means so many things in this chat. You need to be specific. Jesus
There you go. All right, I'd like to know who do that, who said that, who made that slurping sound, so I can put you on a list of mine.
It's I, Ramses.
Slurping sounds if you want.
You have to put all of us on the list. I'm sorry.
Oh no, not
Focus,
Esper. Oh, don't even start. We could just start moaning. Don't even.
Wait, what are we voting? What's happening?
We're moaning.
Pug.
I like this group. I think I might kick you all.
I like these people. Another.
Come on.
I hope somebody clips that. Oh, hi.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I don't know yet.
Wrong way. Is this a... Oh, that's what it's saying.
Okay, so yeah, he walked in front of me. He wasn't who I was aiming at. I wasn't aiming for Val.
Immediate?
I wasn't aiming for Val.
We can't let you off twice.
Yeah, I know.
Are you saying
you
you're the
aiming
sheriff?
at?
Yes, I am.
Immediate.
Yes, I am the sheriff. I ran up and said, "Stop
Who
with
are
that
you
criminal
aiming
scum."
at?
Were you trying to kill me?
I was aiming at Rika.
What?
Not it. Hold up. No. I can attest.
Look, I'm married to her. I get it, but what's your reason?
No, okay. I can attest that Rika's innocent.
Okay, Rika.
I can attest that Rika's innocent because we spawned in together.
Ow!
How fast does Zaruk
It's my
report?
bruise.
Rika, how fast does
Immediately.
Zaruk report?
I reported immediately because it was an accident.
It was the Canadian.
The Canadian.
So he says.
Fart.
Who the fuck voted for Sky?
I voted for you for the rude things you said, babe.
That's
Into jail.
Donk. Just a donk.
Guys, you were locked in jail for the round.
He deserved that one.
Back to it.
Hi. This way. Over here? Is this it? Oh, cool.
Oh. I'm going
hi.
this way. I'm gonna stay. Oh, you want to stay or do you want me to stay? Which one? Who wants to stay? We both have things in this room. I just don't want to.
No, oh no, I'm already done.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Ramses.
Hello. Trash?
To be the locksmith.
I
Very
think that's
unpleasant
trash.
Yes.
What is that? Is that recycling? Oh, no. Trash. 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 Recycling? Apparently I don't know how to recycle.
Paper
What?
and plastic. Paper and plastic.
It's
It's like two separate things. Paper and plastic.
No,
You don't
but apparently
recycle anything biological.
I'm bad at it apparently.
Okay.
This way. Can you tell I'm inept?
Oh, absolutely. You're fine. You got this.
Hey, yo. Oh, whoa.
Just let me vibe with it.
Okay. So the second I was going by, I don't know who's orange. Ramses. Zaruk was running from behind Ramses.
Ramses is dead.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm
And no,
saying.
you can ask Alicia. They've been with me the whole time. Tell them, like
Honey?
you've been with me.
I was Zaruk.
Yeah. So.
Oh.
Oh, Rita's dead. What the? I was looking for my wife. I didn't realize she was dead. Who killed my wife?
You did.
I didn't kill my wife. It was a one-armed bird.
God. Again.
What a fucking reference.
Yeah.
Thank you. Feel old.
Oh no, I just saw Alicia and then Zaruk run right on by. So.
I've run into Ab.
Okay. Yeah. Throw me back in prison. I didn't do it. Okay. Fine.
It's not prison.
Not prison this time. It's not prison. Bye.
Wasn't me. You'll see.
Well, can I still do my tasks?
I just
damn.
wanted
doesn't matter.
to recycle.
Like you can practice the tasks, but it doesn't actually contribute to the progress bar if you're dead.
I just wanted to recycle. Somebody is a psychic though.
What the fuck do I do with this battery? Oh.
It's Sky and I. They're the Esper.
No, I thought somebody got
What
the
does
one that
Esper
allows them
mean?
to hear ghosts.
I was the medium. It doesn't allow you to hear them. It just lets you know how many ghosts there are.
Oh.
But I obviously am dead, so it doesn't really matter.
I am so sad. I just wanted to learn how to recycle. Although I picked Canadian, so.
I'm dead.
I learned my lesson about trying to use the kill button if I got one.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I have not had a kill button all night. Whenever.
I
Is alright.
imposter, it's immediate anxiety spike, and I'm like, ah, shit.
Oh, I do too.
I'm gonna
It's
get
so
out.
stressful.
I hate being the imposter.
I have been murdered and wrongly accused enough tonight that I'm just to end someone's life.
Yeah, it's funny.
I
You know,
prefer
it's funny.
being Goose.
Yeah, it's funny. Alicia did say that they were with me, but it didn't matter, did
With
it?
my mind!
How dare you?
I kept just dropping
wanted...
little, like, mines.
I just wanted to recycle!
I saw Kaizen run away from a body, and I went, you know what? It's fine. I've got a task in here. I'm just gonna finish it. It's cool. And then I got fucking killed.
Hey, by the way, Alicia.
Me?
Hey, Alicia, thanks for sticking up for me when I was literally saying, hey, they were with me the whole time, and you didn't say anything.
I am so sad. I just wanted to recycle.
That gives my tummy the grumble.
I don't know how you got
You gonna go eat, honey?
Oh, no, I meant the name. That gives my tummy
yeah.
the please.
No, but I kept that roll is
Also,
amazing. I just
y'all-
kept walking up dropping mines.
Why did y'all vote out Zaruk when Cyanide reported my body? How dare you?
I was really mad about dying with a wild pelican like 5 seconds into the round.
Because I made an amazing movies reference that everybody laughed and I disarmed your immediate fear.
Yeah. Yeah, bullshit. Y'all shouldn't be doing that.
That is a charisma roll. That is a charisma roll in real life.
Put down the Riz. Put down the Riz. No more Riz.
Look,
Riz
I'm
is
a 3
banished
on a
here.
good day and my wife's a solid 10. I have to keep her laughing so she's gonna open her eyes and see what I look like.
Thank you. That is what I say to my spouse. Someone finally gets it. You gotta keep them laughing. That's how you keep them.
Exactly.
You got solid right, but I'm not sure about the 10 part.
Oh, shush.
It's okay. We're all 10s in our hearts.
Speaking of 10,
I'm a 2.
We're gonna take like 5 or 10 and give it a little break for everybody because I know people will probably need to do that to either grab snacks, use the restroom, whatever. Once we come back, I will be changing the map.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Okie dokie.
Map
That
change.
is a big change you will be doing.
But I just figured out this one, and walls are hard.
I know, you got it. Y'all think you like chaos.
Can I?
We're gonna have chaos.
What? Do you know what map you're changing it to, or are you just doing random?
I do have an idea of which one I'm gonna go to, but if y'all want to make a suggestion, I'm open to that too.
I mean,
Egyptian
Ancient Sands is my whole aesthetic, like...
Final Destination.
I do like
No home
got
field
some weird
advantage.
shit in there.
Okay, yeah, we'll give it a try.
You don't.
All right.
I'm from a desert too,
chase
admittedly.
you around?
Okay.
Okay, break time?
So I'm gonna throw up a quick intermission screen, so I will be right back, everybody. For those of you hanging out in chat, don't go anywhere.
I gotta go get salt. Alright guys, going on break. See you guys in about 10 minutes. Go grab food, go grab water, go do all that stuff, go get a blanket if you need it, and I'll see you guys back here in just a little bit. Welcome back, everybody. It's great to be back. It's great to come back from break. I hope you guys had a good time. We are now in a new map, and here's hoping that they're not talking about fucking Anubis again. Hey, y'all still talking about fucking the God of the Dead? Y'all still doing that?
I'll talk about
Good.
that.
Please
I'll
don't.
talk about that.
No, please
Yeah, I'm okay with
don't.
this.
Please don't. Furries, a lot of you, and I respect that.
We are who we are.
When we are ready, please ready up.
Let's hope none of us get cursed from that.
Let's
Kaizad's
go.
not
Already cursed.
Yep.
predict
Sorry, pressing
immediate
buttons,
death.
buttons,
All
buttons.
players need to be ready to start a game.
Protected. And do not chase attract.
Kill.
All players, be ready to start a game.
Wee!
Whee!
I have a
Remember,
habit.
don't call out your number.
Yippee!
Don't let people know what your number is.
Sobs.
Oh man, I got numbers.
Someone in my chat says, "Oh yes, someone's gonna see Anubis."
Please, yeah, you're about to.
Hey, I can't
Daddy,
count
sorry.
this high.
Daddy,
Number
sorry.
No,
Daddy,
please.
sorry.
Let me live my
I'm sorry, who?
pessimistic furry life.
I could probably gush about ancient Egyptian mythology for hours. Actually, I could
What's the thing
gush
I heard?
about ancient
What's that
Egyptian
thing?
mythology.
I heard my friend say something once. He said, "I didn't choose the furry life. The furry life chose me."
I mean, that's it. That's the whole thing.
Facts.
Fops with fursuits sitting behind me.
Am I a
Hey,
furry
also,
by
have y'all
honor,
heard-
by like an
Yeah.
honorary furry?
Have y'all heard the Russian badger joke of, "I don't fuck with furries. If they can afford a fursuit, they can afford a pipe bomb in my
$5
mailbox."
pipe bomb in your mailbox. Yes, fucking yes. It's so true. That's not a community you fuck with.
I actually have a few of them I keep around as like financial advisors.
Very excited
I don't
about
like
that.
hearing about that.
I need to learn how to draw for NSFW furry shit, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
Same.
you're gonna get rich doing that.
I gotta
Dude,
draw
it's
it all. I've been trying
lucrative.
so fucking hard. There's so much in my brain I need to put on paper, well, digital, but it needs to get out of here.
Too much NSFW furry art made. I need to start drawing the safe shit.
If anyone wants to
but the
do an
money's
art
with the-
trade, that would be so fun.
I know
Wait,
somebody who'd
who's
be willing to
saying
do an
that?
art trade.
Wait,
Brioche is saying art trade.
Brioche Rika would like to do that.
Yes.
I'm sure someone on my
I
team
know
would
an art
love to
trade
do
with
that.
you.
I know my
Yes,
girlfriend.
yes.
I know my girlfriend would be up for that. My girlfriend designed. My girlfriend had designed the concept for my model. She'd love to do that.
Who
All
are
we can do is
you?
It is time. Alright, I gotta figure out where I'm at. Pyramid? I don't like that. Oh, gosh. Oh.
Hi.
I don't know where in Egypt we are, but wherever it is. Oh, it's a snack!
Oh, that's a.
Cool. Is this? Oh, that's an entrance. Oh, what's this? Oh. Oh my goodness, it's Horace.
Oh, what a surprise! Hi, Ramses.
Oh, fuck.
Hi.
Now.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, good.
Well, yeah,
It's
what are
Sandy.
y'all doing now down here now?
Hi, it's Sandy. Is that a scorpion? Oh my gosh, he's a little man. He's just a small guy.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Am I supposed to catch like a boat? It's coming back. Oh my gosh, it's a barge. Oh.
Yeah, hi. Alicia was chasing me. She turned around after she realized she couldn't get to me because I was faster than her and better than her in every way. But I was being chased by Alicia.
How do we know Alicia's not the...
I was walking.
Isn't there a dodo? Yeah, isn't there a dodo?
Then why'd you stop following me?
I stopped following you because I noticed I had a task at the top left.
So
I
I
had to
walked
knock
into
the coconuts down.
Also, apparently Zaruk said, I don't know when or how that happened, but,
because I
you
don't
know.
know how to get inside anywhere.
As soon as you
What the
called
hell
the
was that
meeting, I found Zaruk in
tab is your menu, or your map.
the pyramid.
Also, Zaruk is dead. What happened there?
Ready to roll.
That's what I'm trying to say. I was gonna call the body, but you called the meeting before I could,
Oh,
and
okay.
I didn't see anyone around.
Oh jeez.
Oh no.
There's
Well, I've
nothing
not
to
seen
do
Zaruk this whole
here.
time, so. I mean, I do think it's Alicia still. She was chasing.
No. And like friends, you should know me by now.
Hugs, just hugs.
I chase people because I just want to be with people.
Yep.
I just want to be
Oh, this is an interesting animation.
I just want to.
Alright. Feeling
Hello.
I don't like
Hi.
being alone.
Hi. Wanna be friends?
Oh god, it's another fucking Simon Says. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, where am I?
Oh, me too. Give me the boat! The boat's going up there. I just want the boat! I just want the boat!
God.
Fetch. Okay. Open sarcophagus? Why am I opening a sarcophagus here? I don't like that I have to open a sarcophagus. That makes me uncomfortable.
Hi.
Hi.
That's
Oh, hi.
asking to be cursed.
Oh, why are y'all here? Yeah, really though. We don't disturb the dead. It's very disrespectful. No, not that way. It's Anubis. Lord Anubis. Oh, I'm sweeping! Oh, I love that.
Oh, I guess that is.
Swept the steps of the temple. Hello.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
How are you? How's it going?
I'm feeling kind of interesting.
If you're uncomfortable, I can walk away. It's fine. I'm just.
Nah,
I'm like some people here. I'm actually not going to chase you down. I'm just trying to chat.
No, you can chat. I don't mind.
Okay, good. Yes,
just
I
kinda-
also was a big nerd about ancient Egypt and such.
Dude, it's my whole religion. Like, literally.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm a comedic pagan. That's like my whole thing.
Oh,
That's
okay,
why I
cool,
picked
cool, cool.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's why I could infodump
Yeah,
about this. And that...
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I used to like be really big into it just as like a special interest. But I definitely I've read up on a lot of stuff and know a lot of stuff, so I definitely am interested in discussion about it.
Hey, yo! The mummy has been summoned! Who summoned the mummy? I'm a mummy. I think if the mummy being summoned is a thing, then I should be fine, because I am also a mummy. Or am I a daddy? Oh, I have to sweep more steps. I don't mind. Although this isn't a very effective broom. I like the sound effects. What's up here? Is this? Oh, I have to... How do I... Oh! I trimmed the hedges? Oh, that's cool. Doing... bastard.
Who got you?
Alicia.
Ah.
I was just vibing. Who is it that I'm speaking to? Where are you?
It's me, Zaruk. Val literally chose Vigilante just so they could kill me.
Great. I got
What were you ducks
murdered.
doing?
Okay,
Also,
I just kept busy the whole time.
I tried to
Draconic?
tell
I
you
did so many
Drac.
tasks.
Yes.
I genuinely.
Draconic,
didn't
I do
remember-
not suspect you at all.
I'm the
I
dodo,
got an
so.
achievement for doing 50 tasks. So
Y'all miss it.
Okay, but, like-
I actually forgot that I was a killer while I was chasing you. I wasn't. I was actually just chasing you to hang out. I forgot I was a killer.
I just got the vibe off you. You gave off killer vibes that match.
Can we talk about
entirely
the
fair,
fact?
But yeah, no, I entirely
Can we
forgot
talk
I
about
was
the
killing.
fact that Val literally chose Vigilante just to hunt me down and kill me personally?
Amazing.
That's literally
Can we
a
just-
vigilante.
Can we just talk about? Can we just talk about the fact that for like a solid minute and a half, me and Draconic were just chatting? Like we weren't doing anything. We were just chatting.
I love having little sidebars like that. It's
I'll
great.
be right back.
It's awesome.
I'll be right back real quick.
This is a meet and greet. This is an icebreaker. We're here to hang out and make friends.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah. So
I need
that was a fun
friendship.
discussion.
Please be friends with me.
Yeah.
I am friends with everybody here. Congratulations, you're my honorary friend.
Yay.
Add me on Discord.
Hey. Settle up, partners.
I
We're taking the
promise I
day.
like making friends. I'm just too autistic to speak.
Mood.
Wait.
I
We need a new
relatable.
smooch corner. Hold on. This is a
Alright,
very
here, wait.
weird place to. Okay, wait.
Here,
wait,
I have an
what?
idea. I can
There's a whole tent down here.
I can make
Oh,
it
the smooch
culturally
tent.
relevant. Smooch corner right
yeah.
here.
Okay. I mean,
I'm just watching.
A culturally relevant smooch corner.
It's fine. I like being culturally relevant.
I enjoy being relevant.
But actually, it wouldn't. If we're in an environment that's themed to ancient Egypt, it actually wouldn't be the smooch corner. It'd be the nose touch corner, because that's how they would kiss back then.
Aw.
Yeah.
Are we missing someone from the lobby? Because we're at 11 out of 16.
Yeah.
I heard somebody say that they were stepping away for a minute.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, she's back.
On the topic of
Yeah, she is
like
back in.
ancient cultural affection changes, one of the cutest things probably has to be Aori people where they just touch foreheads.
I like that too. Also, Alicia, that is amazing.
How did you get that? I need that. How did you get that? I need
She
it.
is irresponsible with her wallet. That is why.
Exactly.
I-
Very irresponsible with.
I need that.
Responsible with money.
I need that in my life.
$100 spent 30 of it.
Try being a dragon. I'm forced to be fiscally responsible.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a lie.
I'm sorry. Okay, how about this? Try being poor. How about that? I have to budget. Okay. There we go.
There we go.
There we
And I'm not
go.
budgeting. I'm an idiot.
I am also
Quite literally just paid bottle caps.
Well, now I
I
guess
have
I'm actually
$200
spending
a
money to
week,
get
a
that
week- not a
specific
week, but a
outfit because my
month.
aesthetic. I kind of have to. It's part of the shtick.
It is your
Okay,
vibe.
so I want
to be done.
while we're
It's the
getting our while we're picking our stuff, I want to ask our local NCR Ranger what is the best New Vegas DLC. And if you say Dead Money, I'm gonna find out where you live and strangle you.
Old World Blues.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
I actually like Dead Money.
Does anyone
Lonesome
not
Road's
like
great.
Does anyone not like Honest Hearts?
Honest Hearts is good, but as a native, I kind of find it a little punch in like punching downy.
Fair.
Like it's good, and it definitely subjects like how humans would evolve into a tribal-esque nature in the middle of being segregated away from a bunch of people due to a canyon. I totally do get that, but like I feel there are some things that could have been translated differently, and I feel they did a lot of the hacky versions.
Yeah, I mean, I was my reason for
Joshua Graham though is amazing.
Yeah, Joshua Graham. There it is, Joshua Graham.
Babe, you wanna know our DoorDasher's name?
Hmm.
It's fucking Martha.
Martha?
Martha?
You're not getting your food.
You know
You're not
she's got
getting
weed in
your
her
food.
car.
Like, of all the names you don't expect your DoorDasher to have.
She's just gonna cook it herself. She's Martha Stewart.
Yeah, right? It's all homemade. It's all
Also-
homemade.
Y'all,
I'm sorry
also-
your book sales have gone so poorly, ma'am, but please.
Please, we need the money.
You don't have to DoorDash in Charleston.
Welcome to your home, and now welcome to your kitchen. Oh,
All right. Y'all, why
hi,
does salt
looking
taste so
food
good?
again.
Oh my gosh, hi! I have a question for you.
It is, yes. Yes, what's up?
Why is it so good?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm not.
I
like,
know
a
why it's
doctor or
good for me, but like,
Why?
Why does it taste good?
Well, salt is something that you actually need to survive. Like, you have to have it.
This is
It's
true.
like the iodine in salt. Like,
I
it's for your
especially
thyroid
need
and-
it.
Yeah?
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, I gotta go do tasks. Hope you're not Dodo again, because that'll be awkward.
No. I legitimately just like to chat because we're trying to hang out.
True. All right, I'm in here now. What's this? Ew, ew. Eh. There we go. Pick up the bell. I don't know where the bell is.
Thing.
Where's the bell?
Where's
I
the
don't
bell?
either.
Where's the bell?
Where's the bell?
Where's the
Where's
bell?
the bell?
I don't know. I'm lost. I think the bell should be over here.
Bell by
No,
here.
the wrong bell.
This?
No, that's the meeting bell.
Oh.
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 Sacrifice?
oh.
Sting.
Oh?
What?
Okay.
That's a new one.
Also,
I
Brioche
was
is dead.
vote for,
Yep.
Anyone want to
Brioche is
explain what
dead.
happened
What?
here?
I don't
Oh,
know.
we
I
got
don't know
the
what
bell,
happened.
and now
but
it's a
again,
sacrifice
thing.
I don't think we have a skip option here. I think we have to pick somebody.
I volunteer as tribute.
All right, Zaruk,
Don't you
bye.
fucking dare!
No. Yeah, we don't have a skip option.
Absolutely not.
Somebody's getting voted out here.
What's?
Fine by
I
me.
guess just
I bet Zaruk's
measure
the
with your
dodo.
heart.
We have
Oh
to
yeah,
kill
Zerg's
somebody.
definitely the
Zerg's 100% the dodo.
skip.
Yes. Yeah, don't vote Zaruk. That's just ridiculous.
Measure with your heart.
Okay, well, good job.
Well,
Well,
Congrats on the dodo win.
Oh,
Oh,
it picked. I think.
What? No!
was randomly
I think it's because not everyone voted.
I think somebody didn't vote, and so it randomly chose.
Oh.
all right.
That's enough. That's enough for me, Chief. Oh. These are not accurate colors, but we're gonna pretend like they are. Up this way. No!
What were you doing? Talking to Drac and then suddenly kills him.
You don't get to pull that on me. I was talking to Nick about the collab idea, and he was talking to me about it. I was lighting the candles, and I saw you go sprinting by.
Exactly.
Not
Why
to mention,
the fuck did you kill him?
I didn't kill him. I was literally talking to him.
The murderer.
Yeah, he lit. Nuh-uh, because I was lighting the candles. How can I kill him if I'm lighting the candles?
Who's talking right now? Is it Zaruk?
Can you kill at a distance?
No. Alicia's accusing me, even though Alicia chased me earlier. I got away, and then when I was talking to Nick while lighting the candles, Alicia dashed past, killed him, and is now blaming me for it.
Considering the fact that you are literally usually often the first person to offer themselves to die, I think that gives you credibility here.
Okay then.
Honestly, goals.
It's Alicia. I promise it is.
I voted for user.
Of course you did.
Heart emoji.
Damn.
The four of y'all who didn't vote are morons.
Why didn't you guys vote?
What the fuck was that?
All right. Let's come up here. Come up here. Hello. Fluff green? I love fluffing green. Oh my gosh. Green fluffing. Green fluffing.
Body rain. Hey. Wait, what?
What? Did anybody else get that?
Which happened and where? Yes?
Somebody ripped. Somebody... Oh, okay, hold on. Alrighty. We all got the rip message, right? Like, I wasn't the only one.
Yes, we all did. And I told Aurora that was Val. I saw Val walk past me. Alicia chased Val, and the moment I turned my back, I get the alert, and that's when I bumped into Aurora saying, I'm like, it's Val. Val just got killed.
Aurora,
That
can
is
you...
True, yeah. Yeah, that did actually
I was in
happen.
the middle of the camera running, so I didn't get any kind of
ran to
alert.
Kaizad.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I give you a smooch.
Oh, little smooch. Little friendship smooch.
Something seems wrong about you two.
The mood smooch.
No, me and Zaruk are just trying to kill each other somehow. Like, we're just
Yeah,
after
you're
each
just going
other.
after each other. Come on, we gotta make a decision now. Otherwise,
It's gonna keep. Yeah, it's gonna snowball.
it's gonna keep going. Yeah. Kaizad.
Yep.
Kaizad,
You
no.
didn't vote.
I clicked things.
Well,
I
bye,
don't think my vote
Alicia.
would have changed anything.
Goodbye. Well, it's nice
Into the
knowing you, I guess.
coffin.
Bye.
Cool. Tab. What do y'all think? Do y'all in chat think that this is we're doing the right thing here? What's this? Oh, cut wheat. Nice. Hello. Come through here. Then we come up this way. Going the right way.
Ah, that's how it
Hello.
works. Hello. This stupid
Hello.
candle.
I know, right?
There, got it. There we go.
You finally feeling at home?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm beating up a
That's
mouse.
good. Ah, nice.
On your titties.
Bastard.
You're alright.
I just realized Tanks is a pigeon. That's probably gonna not go very well if this game continues.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. Hello.
Oh, hello.
I have been murdered.
Congrats.
Congrats.
I'm curious.
Also, actually, now that you're here, Ramses, I totally was a dodo, by the way.
I knew it.
How are you not winning though?
It was like the first like 10 seconds.
Okay, so I found a body at the top of the map. I have no idea. I saw Sky quite close to it though.
Tanks was just with me. I was cutting wheat in the field.
I did just see Tank. No, I saw Ramses.
I saw someone that I don't I've been running in the same circle and I'm so confused.
It was me, Tanks. I ran past you and I said, I don't like sand. It's coarse, rough.
He's gonna be the damn fucking dodo again. No.
That.
Yeah, I think it was Sky.
Guy was next to, like, he was like just a little bit up from the body.
Yeah.
Was it around the corner? Because I was gonna turn the corner and then I saw you and I ran.
I will second that.
Of course you will. You're married to me.
Huh.
Such a loving relationship.
Such a loving relationship.
Minor.
I did not speak much during that, but because you didn't realize you couldn't talk and you said do what you will, I've already what. I know you.
Hey yo! Hey yo, Sky! Sky, I was just singing Ivan Polka!
Okay. Zaruk!
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself!
Although, I was just over here!
You're the mimic, I thought you were one of us, so I was
I appreciate you trying to avenge me, Zaruk. I appreciate that. That earns brownie points with me.
Sky, I was so... I thought...
Good job, man.
Sky, I thought you were genuinely interested in me.
Here's the thing, the terrible part is, what makes it so easy is that I was genuinely interested. I can just still stab you.
See, don't you all understand? I was among you the entire time.
I am going to throw you out the window.
Oh my god.
If I get any killer roll, I'm going for you.
I'm gonna put you in a pit filled with legless lizards.
Nice. Alright, y'all, I'm heading out. Y'all have fun.
Alright, see ya.
As you're leaving, do you want to plug yourself one last time?
No.
Okay. Well, then just have a good night. Take care, and thank you for being here.
Bye. I'm going to drop a photo of my cat in your Discord. He was being very cute behind the screen.
Oh, right. I almost forgot. I need to set... I said I would show that thing about Moonbase Alpha. Hold on.
Yes.
Oh, no.
If you need to link anything to me, that is totally fine.
Well, no, I said I'd show it in the Discord for everyone to see it.
Okay.
So...
Oh.
Alright, so I'm not gonna give... where should I put it, Nick? For like everyone to see. It's a meme. I'm gonna put it in memes. It's a meme. It's basically a meme. Here. This is for everyone. So this is Moonbase Alpha in a nutshell. I'm not giving you context. You'll just have to watch it and see.
Okay.
I'll look after the stream. Because if I open Discord, my stream will just have a heart attack.
Fair enough. If that is the only person leaving, then we should.
Yeah, I'm still good.
I'm good.
Okay, I can go a couple.
Good.
Sounds good.
I'm good for another hour.
Like 1 or 2 in me before I've got to take care of babies and make sure they go to bed and stuff.
Understandable.
All right.
We are waiting for Rika to ready. Else to ready. There we go.
Hey, yo.
Sorry, it was me. I got distracted.
I was just perusing the shop, don't mind me.
I'm sorry, I was trying to spend my money.
Well, yeah, really?
And keep it.
Salt. You guys are gonna learn something very, very quickly about me if you haven't yet, and that's I talk about salt and food a lot on my stream.
Fine. Do you like cooking?
Yes,
God, I love
but I'm
cooking.
not good at it because if I stand for too long, I just pass out. So it's like I can't do it.
I just
have to get a stool.
I said it.
Okay,
It's okay,
I want
it's funny.
everyone if you cook here in this stream, what is your favorite thing to cook?
Kitsune udon.
I like cooking congee. Kongi.
Got it, congee.
I'm big on
They're
gourmet
yummy.
baking. Currently, my favorite thing is Roland Berry cheese. Final
Oh god, that sounds.
Take away my burrito.
My favorite thing to do is for me, it's either my homemade honey sriracha meatballs or the maple balsamic fajita steaks.
Oh, that sounds great.
Like, you know, it's those fajita strips you add to tacos, and I'd use like it's a mixture of maple syrup, sriracha, and balsamic. Usually.
Here we go. Hi.
Chat. Oh.
Hi.
Hi. Hello. Welcome. I'm just letting everybody in my chat know
That's how I get around.
that
Hello.
Val left. I'm going to plug Val's links anyway one more time. There we
Okay,
go.
cool.
Yeah.
Do
Hi,
send them to me
hello.
when you get the chance, so that way I can also plug
Yes,
them
I
post
have,
stream.
I have everybody's link saved. I just yeah, it's a lot to manage right now.
Valid.
Yeah, what's the deal with salt? What's your thing with salt? I like salty foods too, but like why?
So pots.
What's your deal?
So one of the reasons why my heart doesn't work very well is because
Oh, okay.
Brioche, I saw that. I saw you run from that. I saw you.
Oh.
What?
I saw. Yeah, I saw you. I walked past you. I saw you sprint past me.
man.
I peek into that building. There's a dead body
I
in there.
didn't even see you. I'm outside.
No, I walked right past you. You went sprinting past me.
Because I just heard Brioche's voice near me. What are you talking about?
No,
Where was the body?
literally, I walked. Literally, I went to the left, saw Brioche.
Is there a
tear past
possibility
me,
there's a
walked in.
mimic?
So, do you mean mimic or morphling?
Yeah.
It's possible there's
Yeah,
more
morphling.
Morphling shapeshifts. Mimic just pretends to be on the bad team.
Because I was doing my task.
There is no morphling.
I am down under the bazaar and in front of the artisan's house. I didn't get to even click on it before it did, and I was
Did
in
anyone
the other
else
room
see
and I broke
Brioche?
the lock on the.
Not this whole room.
I didn't see anybody.
I swear, I'm not making this up. I swear.
think
I
I
looked to the
heard
left.
On
There's a dead
God,
body. I called
on my
it.
life. On my life, wasn't
What
me.
building was it in?
It's one of the what's that building with like the urn with the statue in
You can
front?
open
I
your
was
map,
in
and
there.
it'll tell you where you were.
Ah, yes. In the Egyptian map, where's the statue with the urn?
Okay.
Hold on, I can lead you
Yeah,
all.
it's
I can
already-
lead you all. I know where it is.
Fair.
I was in there.
Oh, I didn't do it.
No.
Y'all are
I'm
All right,
afraid
y'all,
of red
y'all,
for
y'all,
consumption.
y'all.
I'm telling
wait.
you, I heard their voice near me.
Hello.
I don't know what happened here. I came up on a body. It was like right near the little docks section where the boats are. Must have been very quick.
I
Hold
wasn't.
on. I literally. Wait a
Oh my
minute.
God.
What- Okay, well, I was standing next. I saw.
because I was just
Yeah.
with them.
And it's not Ramesses. I was standing next to him, so it's not Ramesses
I was
either.
next to Alicia as well, so it wasn't
following Jack.
them.
Yeah.
I was sweeping stairs.
I was doing a polish one, I think, and I had charmed the snake just before.
I just want to steal
Charming.
the ornaments from the mummy.
I know, right?
Valid.
Oh, that is
When I was
entirely
walking
valid.
through with the snake, it's real cool. I don't have any suspicions thus far.
No.
Ramesses,
Although I
you're
will
literally
say-
a pharaoh. Don't you know? Don't you know stealing from other mummies is a bad idea?
Yes,
I
I
need a
do.
Okay.
Don't stop me from doing it.
Yourself.
No, it's bad
Is it
either
wrong?
way.
Yes. Am I gonna do it? Yes.
Dum da dum. Da 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 da. Go. 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 Cool. Ooh, gem.
Freaking walls in the way.
Yeah.
Hi.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hi. Really quick. Reason why salt.
Yes,
Reason
you said
why
pots,
salt.
right?
Yes, POTS. So I have an autoimmune issue and not autoimmune, auto nervous system issue, and salt helps regulate
Yes.
it. And that auto nervous system issue causes my heart rate to
Gotcha.
not work. There you go.
Okay, that makes sense. I'd
Yeah.
heard of it. I know people to have it as well, so like I get it.
There's like 4 different types.
The
So
digits fit at least. Yes, yeah.
I got to knock the nuts.
There.
That made me so happy.
door. Oh, door over there. Oh. Okay.
I have 2 tasks in.
Oh my gosh!
Oh no.
Holy shit. Okay, so bottom right docks. Anyone there? Because that's where I just found.
I was in the pyramid.
I was literally just helping Rika and Brioche with the scrolls.
Okay.
Yes.
I was with
10 pouch.
Lead.
I was with
So that-
Nick. So
Yes.
Ramses.
Wait, hold on.
Ramses, you're the
Yeah,
only
so-
ones unaccounted for here.
I have a very I was in the pyramid, but I have a very special ability called Stalker. And I've been tracking Draconick, and they've been
have
down
you?
there. Yeah, I have.
Are you that obsessed with me?
Yes. I had a feeling. I had a feeling. You were giving me a feeling, and you were down. I was in the pyramid, and it was pointing towards the dock. Was it the lower or upper dock?
Lower.
It was the lower dock.
Oh, then it was you. It was you. You were down right.
Wasn't though.
How do you vote for people? What the fuck?
I don't
Click
think
on
I'm
Double click their name.
Click on them.
Oh. I am not able, apparently, this
Oh.
round, so I'm just gonna keep chilling.
Some roles can't vote actually.
Oh, well, this is
It
fine
depends on the
then,
role.
I guess.
Oh no.
Bye, Nick.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hello.
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 I
Not
don't want
this
to
way.
be alone.
Hello.
This is dangerous.
Yeah, this is dangerous.
I want to be alone with someone. Groups of 3 are safe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you guys can chill out
that's
with
right.
me. This is where I was before.
Thingy. What the fuck is this? Oh,
What the fuck is what?
How do I do this?
this
Look at
task?
those. Oh, the fire. Nice.
I had to make 5.
Oh! Oh!
Brioche, were you going
gotta-
towards the foam wall? Are you going to the fire?
What?
Ramses, what were those things up top? Those were the jewels you were wait, where'd she go?
I'm right here.
Oh, I was
Right,
the
right.
sand. I was like, wait, what happened?
Oh. Defended yourself very little. Not
I mean,
necessarily at all.
yeah.
I've been murdered. I knew
So,
it!
I would say now is a good time to reveal my role as the mimic. So I can fuck over Zaruk
Ah, damn
like
it.
he fucked
Alright,
me over
yeah.
last round.
I've been trying to vote for Zaruk for every
fine,
vote,
yeah,
and I
alright.
can't vote.
No, that's well played. Well played. Yeah, no defense on that one. Well played.
I got Nick caught and I got you. I'm catching you right now.
Well played. Well played.
We're voting Saruk.
Yeah.
Yes, I can't vote. Please.
Because I went with Nick for.
I'm unable to vote.
I
Please
just.
do it.
It hasn't started yet.
I went with Nick for the first kill so that he wouldn't suspect me at all.
That's fine. Yeah, well
That was
played.
just
I got
solid.
played on that one.
God damn it, son of a bitch can't click roll ass bullshit.
Just click his face. Click his face.
I'm clicking his face. It won't let me do shit. Which has me as the skip person every time.
Wait, there's someone left. What?
Who's
The
left?
Falcon is left. The Falcon is left, and they can open tasks. Yeah, so the Falcon can only win with tasks, and after this, Falcon wins. So I don't know.
Really
if
needs to
they're gonna-
hurry. I
don't know if they're
I'm
gonna
so
be able
scared
to
for
do
my
it.
life.
So wait, really quick,
Hey, Matt.
Draconick. You.
I'm back. I took a quick pause while I was away for the.
You. You. Draconic.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Were you actually responsible for the death by the docs or no?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Draconic
Then
told me.
the stalker worked then.
Yes. Oh no, you were absolutely right. But also, I didn't kill you. I had plenty of opportunities to.
Yeah, well done.
Thank you for not killing me.
Well done.
Good
Well
job.
done.
That's my girl.
Well done.
I ran into both of them at the end there where it's like survive or kill someone, and I was like, no, please, nobody touch me.
Current objective: survive.
I don't know how to kill people, please.
I am so glad. I am so glad I got mimicked for that round.
Good job, all of you. That was a good round.
Good job. That was awesome.
I got time for one more. I got time for one
Yeah,
more.
I can squeeze one more in here.
One more sounds good.
When Sky got killed, I could just hear from inside his office, Zaruk, and I was like, no way.
And I realized, I gotta close my office door.
I've got half an hour left to stream.
That outfit is
Change
horrifying.
map?
Sure, we'll do
My
last one on a
God.
different map.
Can we do the lounge one? It looks cool, right? I don't know.
I've never done that one. We'll give it a try.
There you go.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah, let's go. Do it.
It looks
do it.
nice and cozy. I don't know. That's the vibe I feel.
Let's do
All right, new map. I'm just waiting for it to load now. It's taking a second. Let me see my stream stats real quick. No, everything still looks good. I haven't dropped any more frames since, so that's a good sign. That's always a good sign when you don't drop frames while streaming. Oh, whoa. Hi.
He is looking at you, kid.
Is there a door?
Hello.
There is
I am
a slight
from New
problem,
York.
everyone.
What's wrong?
I do not have a start button option. I assume
Yeah,
somebody
I
else
don't
has the start
either.
button right now.
Who's got the crown next to their name?
Not me.
I don't even have a ready up option.
I can't ready.
Neither do I.
Actually.
Lounge just a lounge.
The lounge
think it
might
might
just
be.
be a lounge.
Fair.
It might just be a lounge.
Oh, okay. It might be should be sort of to pass the time while you're waiting for other matches. Okay.
Okay.
That's
There's a
hilarious.
body over here.
Where's
A
the
body
map?
has been discovered.
Let's do a different map.
Yeah, I just need to find the thing I interact with to actually change maps.
It's just legit, just a lounge.
Yippee! There'll be no.
I kind of like this. This is really cute.
There's like a thing.
Just gonna. We're just all here now.
Flying too fast, 2 hours. Oh.
Dog does.
Far from wrong. Da 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 da. Bow wow, ba da 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 ba da 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 na na na.
I'm gonna open Discord in case we can't follow each other.
You know what's wild? I used to
As
be
I
a
go
classically trained
riding
singer.
merrily along. They say,
oh my god, we became best friends.
oh, ain't you glad you're single? Jingle jangle. That song is so very far from wrong. Oh,
Y'all
Lily
jamming?
Bell. Oh, Lily Bell. Oh, I may have done some fooling. This is why I never fell. I got spurs that jingle, jangle, jingle, jingle, jangle. As I go riding merrily along.
What a beautiful singing voice.
Oh, thank you. I really.
Such a nice voice. Do 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 do. That was really funny though. It's just a launch. There was nothing special about that area. This is fun. I'm excited to keep playing this. I'll probably play this more because this is actually genuinely enjoyable. Good game.
Damn right.
Hello.
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 Honestly, the song that is at the start of Fallout 3 lives in my head rent.
I don't
set the world on fire. I just wanna start a flame in your heart. In my life, I have but one desire.
I want arson.
Hey, so did they. That's how.
Yeah.
God.
No, but let's be real. I think everyone knows the most memorable song is that to the town about real stranger one fine day. Hardly spoke to folks around him. Didn't have too much to say.
Incredible.
No one dared to ask his business. No one dared to make a slip. For the stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip.
A big iron on his hip.
Everyone knows the Big Iron song.
I grew up to Marty Robbins because I'm from Arizona, and my mom used to sing "Man Walks Among Us" as a lullaby.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what I want to know. So y'all. So I'm pretty sure everyone knows this, but you know, there's actually like the actual like starting bar or like saloon in New Vegas. Actually, there's an actual. Yeah, Good Springs is an actual place. Where is it? What state is it in? Is it New Mexico or Arizona?
Mamaville.
I'm pretty sure it's in Mexico. Yeah, Good Springs does exist, and so the Prospector Saloon does exist, as well as a guy who's technically Easy Pete.
Oh, nice.
That's interesting.
And you can, and apparently, and not only can you go, not only is it recognized by like Fallout veterans and the community alike.
You can go there to beat the game for the
Yeah, you can go there, play the game. They sell Nuka-Cola with actual star bottle caps, which I think is hilarious.
Now I'm going.
Or no, not Nuka-Cola. It's
Sunset Sarsaparilla.
Yeah, Sunset Sarsaparilla. Yeah.
Ooh, I love sarsaparilla.
I'm going.
It's delicious.
You're gonna make me put on my Ranger coat.
The trip.
Everyone is
The
ready
coat-
up.
the coat
We're
stays
going
on.
to
Yep.
Start.
I'm ready.
Coat stays on.
Ready.
Oh yeah. The coat.
Oh. No queuing up. Hello. Where am I? Oh. I gotta learn a whole new map. I feel like I'm in a game of Clue.
That was
Hey,
That was
Hey.
fast.
What? I want food.
I think that going to the lounge and changing maps reset the game mode because we're in classic right now. Let's just take a mulligan on this one and reset it.
Okay.
So who are the ducks?
I'm a duck.
I'm a duck.
Which one said? Who said I'm a duck?
Yeah, it's me.
It's me and Aurora.
I felt really good with the game, so I was like, "Fuck yes!"
Let's vote Aurora first.
I'm voting Aurora just because.
Everyone vote Aurora.
What the fuck? Come on.
It's with care. It's with care. I promise.
I want to give you all a good match.
We're putting you out of your misery. It's okay.
Yeah, taking you behind the shed.
Shh, lovely. Shh.
It's you.
Aurora
it's you
votes
first.
themselves.
It's okay.
It's okay. Go to
No.
sleep.
It's okay. It's okay. You're
It'll
going
all
to
be
a
all
bar,
right.
you can run around.
I can run.
I feel horrible.
Oh, that was Ronnie.
Did you help me with something?
Yes.
That was incredible.
When you get a chance, if one of you could ring this bell, that would be.
Well, goodbye,
Zaruk.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
Goodbye.
That was so unnecessarily mob bossy. I'm not even okay with it.
Yeah.
You ready for your turn?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
What's that old stupid joke? If ye seek and sink and drown, then ye be human. But if thou doesn't die, you're a witch. How does that make any sense?
That's literally how the witch trials work, though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Who are we voting?
Me.
Zerk needs a new pair of cement shoes.
Understood.
Goodbye.
Ooh, I want cement shoes.
Sad summer child.
You were like a brother to me. I didn't want to do this to you.
Vinny, tell
Italian,
Mama.
I feel
Vinny,
very
tell-
offended.
Yeah.
Who
Vinny,
I
voted
have no brother
Draconick?
now.
I'm so upset.
This is gonna kill
Goodbye.
I hate it.
Oh, not
Why is it so horrible?
It is awful.
Yay, we won!
Yay.
We did it! Ooh, I feel dirty.
I'm getting so many
Yeah,
achievements.
agreed.
I got all the achievables.
There you go. 3 points, everybody.
Nice.
All right, so let's do it. Let's shuffle
Good
everything.
lord.
Draft mode.
Yeah,
Draft
I will
mode.
change the game
Draft
mode.
mode.
Yeah.
God damn it.
We are in draft mode.
There we go.
And we
We're in
are
draft mode.
20 of the hour.
Yep.
So that's probably gonna have
This will
to
be the
jump out
actual
after
last
this game.
game.
Yeah, I was about to say,
yeah,
it's
this is
probably
the
gonna have to
last
jump out after this
one.
one.
One last hurrah.
One last.
yeah.
One last ride into hell.
That's
I've
why,
got one more
that's
to
why we
learn.
accelerated through the last game, because we wanted the last game to be draft and just
Hey,
game zombie without
Aurora.
me noticing when we came
Hey,
to
Aurora. Yeah.
Enable
I got
everything.
heartaches by the number, troubles by
You're waiting on the list, you guys are ready up.
Every day you love me less, each day I love you more. Yes, I've got heartaches by the number.
I'm a Barbie
that I
girl.
can't.
Oh my god.
All right, Alicia, ready up.
Oh my god.
Ready up the end.
I'm so upset. I was ready to burn that entire place to the ground with Zaruk.
Shame.
Ready to kill everybody.
Just pick a killing roll this time.
Oh,
Lucky can one guy.
oh my god, I had cake for breakfast. I'm such an idiot. I'm so hyper.
Ain't that a kick in
What's the
head?
evolved form of a fennekin?
Braixen?
Braixen. Yeah, Braixen.
Completely blank.
Party.
That's not the right Pokemon.
What are we doing?
I hear somebody
Chaos.
singing Ave Maria.
Drugs apparently.
Yeah, that's what I was confused about.
Hey, I mean, if you wanna sing Ave Maria, I have an amazing soprano.
I used to be classically trained. I had a
That's
4
cool.
octave
Okay, that's
range,
cool
but
as
I'm
hell.
Absolutely
That's cool.
out of
That's
practice.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a muted teacher in college. Ooh, I had a minor
Oh,
in
that's
opera,
cool.
and apparently getting a job in engineering is hard.
Yeah. Which
I could, yeah.
Well, okay, that's true. That's true unless you're going into HVAC. In HVAC, there's a ton of jobs because they're always needed.
So with my major in engineering and my minor in opera, I made.
Well, there's that. This means I can finish tasks faster. Hell yeah.
Happening. Oh, hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hi.
Oh. There we go. I'm a butler, apparently. Nice! Nice! I should make that a sound alert. Nice caught. Anyway. Hello! Oh. Are you also dusting off a clock?
Yeah, I thought it was a press and hold, but it's a multiple clicks.
Yeah, that's what I found out too. Oh my gosh, I have to dust off a...
Do I have lag?
Oh, it's gonna put my finger out.
Yeah.
Oh, you're...
That's a path. Hello.
Hello. All right. What's up here? Oh. Boom. Boom. What am I supposed to be doing here? Dust for prints. Oh, I see. Oh, I did it. Okay. Study. That's not the way to study. Here we go. There we go. Gotta go here. Oh, it's so dusty. Excuse me. Knives. There we are. Hello.
Wow.
Hello.
We're looking for corpses. Have you seen one?
No, I haven't.
I mean, there's
sorry.
like a
I'll bring you
skull
up
you
as
have to
soon as I
dust
do.
over.
Study.
Ooh, yum.
Hello. Oh, I gotta light candles? Real shit. There we go. Burn evidence. Fuck does that mean? Nope. Oh, that seems like a jump scare waiting to happen. This is one dusty, dirty night. He deserves better than this. Very valiant. Okay, I can get in that way, so... Alright, strung the violin.
Really? Only one death. Wow. Okay. I just had to see what happened. What was happening.
That's
Fair. The killers aren't killing is what's happening. They have to kill one person.
The killer killed one person.
It's the last game.
It's rare. It's been murder
longer.
sprees every other time.
Yeah, it really has been.
I've run in Sky a lot, and every time he's just gone no, 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 no. So I think he's afraid of me. So I don't think he would.
I have accounted for Draconick, Rika, and Sky, and Alicia. I've run by all 4 of them in places where should be murder central, and they have not killed me. So
I can say the same for Ramses and Rika as well. Like I've crossed paths with them like multiple times for this whole thing.
I think you crossed paths with me while I was singing.
Yes, we literally chose notes.
Alicia, come find me.
Okay.
Alicia, come find me.
I will.
Like the war.
It's just a very peaceful, pleasant last
Yeah, we're just
game.
doing tasks.
Everybody's really nice
for Sky.
I'm really happy. Wait,
Whoa.
wait. So it goes squeaky.
Who's squeaky?
Someone is squeaky.
Oh, hey!
Hi.
Okay. Alicia. Wait, hold on. I'm waiting down the clock.
Oh, I get to flip a pillow? Oh, I get to fish? I hate this one. Oh, that's interesting. Hello. Red Rum, that's a reference to a Stephen King book.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
What?
Oh,
Hey! Oh, I got a trophy!
Really? And I wanted to tell you that the corpse was taken.
That was a good one.
He's around.
Yeah.
I just finished the task.
I got too scared to kill.
Nick, I was the detective, so I knew that you were, but I was gonna let Alicia eat some more bodies, so I told her so she could.
Alright, well, that's it for me. I've got to head out.
Alright,
So
this
do
was the
I.
last round for everyone. So,
Same.
Daruk, as you're making your way out, do you want to do one last round of plugging yourself and talking about yourself and all this sort of stuff?
Gone. I think they left already.
Or not? Okay, that's fine too.
Oh, he full sent
No worries.
already. Bye
Take care,
bye.
Zaruk.
Oh god, jeez.
There is Zaruk's link. Do go follow Zaruk. We appreciate that very much. Who would like to go next? Here, I'll go ahead and pick. Just make this easy on everyone. Let's have.
I think the people who aren't streaming should go first.
Yes.
Because then they can just hop out. They don't have to stick around.
Sure, absolutely. Kaizad, I know you're not streaming right now. Go ahead and plug.
We all know I am Kaizad, Teach the Broken Crimson Dragon, and I will be streaming tomorrow. I'm going to be doing some placid plastic duck simulator. We're just a chill stream before returning to horror next week. I am also, follow me on the tweeters, I am doing commissions.
Yes, we'd love to see it. Abster, you also are not streaming currently, so go ahead.
I am not. Once again, I'm Upster, the wholesome water dragon. I will also be streaming tomorrow at 4 p.m. UK time. It's gonna be Genshin Impact because I'm predictable.
Hey yo.
Okay, we love it.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Very welcome.
And we met a lot of awesome, cool people, and they're all very neat and awesome. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Alicia, you never stream. But go ahead and say something about yourself.
Oh, the shade!
Oh no, it's entirely true. My anxiety.
Oh.
Can't get.
Okay.
You can find me on everyone else's channel but mine.
Valid.
I have dropped your link. Hopefully people will go follow you anyway because they should, because you stream very, very occasionally, and we don't want to miss those moments.
I want to also support you, so yeah.
Yes.
Support.
Real quick, let's go ahead and do. Again, I don't know who else streaming who's not right now, so I'm just going to kind of go down the line since I had a couple of people who I know are not. Let's have Aurora go ahead.
Yes, I am Aurora LaQuail. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, and occasionally on Saturdays. This Sunday, I'm gonna be speedrunning Stray. And yeah, I'm really stupid. I'm sorry. I'm a silly goose.
It's okay. We love that, and we're all silly gooses right now.
Yes, silliest gooses. Friendship.
Yes, I know. Sky and Rika have to get out of here pretty soon. So Sky, go ahead.
First off, let me say for Rika, because she already dipped and she's hit her kind of spoons max, but she wanted me to tell you she had such a wonderful time, and thank you so much for allowing her to spend this time with you guys. And that she started, she had to rush out, but she's very much appreciated and can't wait to see for the next time. As for myself, I guess for stream-wise, I stream on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Sorry, Thursdays, Fridays, I shift my week down. Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And beyond that, this was an absolute pleasure to spend this time with you guys and hang out with you guys. Thank you so much for the invite and let me have here. If you guys enjoyed this time with me, I hope you guys see some of this crazy stuff I do on my stream, which is a lot of me screaming just about as much as I did here, but usually because I made bad choices. I do the hard way of everything.
Look,
mostly
showing
because
up
I
to
know
the
it's
stream was a bad choice.
This is one of the best choices. I don't know, this is great.
I'm glad.
But yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity to spend this time and hang out with you guys, and I'm so glad for the friends that we made here today.
Absolutely.
Glad you could make it.
Yay!
Brioche, why don't you go ahead?
Yes, I am Brioche Batch, and I stream Wednesdays and Fridays at 8:30 a.m. Australian Eastern Time, so that my friends over in the States are, I think it's about 6 p.m. Anyways, I stream a lot of Project Zomboid. I play Hades, Minecraft. I'm actually going to still be live after this. I'm probably going to switch to Minecraft, but if anyone wants to join me on another game, they're more than welcome to.
Absolutely. If we don't have anyone else to raid that is not also staying alive, we'll definitely raid you. Let's go ahead and have Ramses. Go ahead and do a quick plug.
All right. Thank you guys so much for coming, and thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. It was a lovely time. I appreciate it a lot. You can find me over at Crypt Ramses on literally any social media platform, Tumblr, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. I post all of my stream archives, including this one. So if you guys want to relive the memories that we all made here, you can find it over on YouTube in 1 week. I stream every day, quite literally every day, at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for today where I canceled my stream to come be here. But I stream every day for 5 hours, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I play all sorts of games. You're gonna have to keep up with my schedule. Tomorrow we are finishing off Spyro Reignited, finally the first game I ever started streaming on this channel. We are finally finishing it. So I would love to see you guys there. And again, thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you guys so much for letting me be here. It's been an honor, and I couldn't be more appreciative of all the memories that we've made together, and I look forward to working with you guys in the future.
Heck yeah, glad to hear it. I also have been streaming Spyro off and on.
Hey,
we
yo.
definitely have that in common. But yes, it's a good game, and also I'm glad you decided to cancel your other plans to be here today. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, it was
we enjoyed having you.
favorite game too. Like,
yes, love to hear it. Tanks, I believe you are still live currently, so go ahead and give yourselves a little shout out.
Okay, so aside from my Twitch, obviously, you can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Ko-fi, Throne, all under Tanks and Just. Save for YouTube, it's Tanks and Just Pods. But I post all over the place. My schedule's up on my Twitter. I'm not going to be live tomorrow. I come back Sunday with Slime Rancher 2. I'm going to be continuing my playthrough on that. Have a chill little Sunday like usual. I typically stream at 8 p.m. PST, but I do try to post time conversions for people who aren't big brain math boys, because I'm definitely not one. Thank you guys so much for having me here. I really appreciated being able to come out and hope to be able to do more collabs like this in the future. And I know I'm not the most talkative with big collabs, because when it gets over 3 people, my brain cells just go poof. But I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
It was very fun.
It was lovely playing with you guys.
I don't know if y'all noticed Draconick accidentally left.
Yeah.
Rip. All right. Well then, I guess we'll all plug him later. All right. Well, see you guys. I gotta sign off on my stream and raid.
Bye everyone. Play Minecraft. I'll still be live if y'all want to chat with me. I'm also
Brioche.
going to play games.
Brioche,
Yes.
is your Twitch the same as your name right here?
Yes.
I'm rating you.
Oh yeah. I'm coming over to annoy you.
Thank you, guys. I love you. I'm gonna disconnect now and update
All right,
my
bye
shit. Okay, bye.
guys.
How the fuck do I leave?
I
figured it out.
I'm the only one here. Well, I'm gonna leave this up. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to the stream. It truly means the world and Underworld to me. If you want to see shoutouts for everybody who was here today, if you want to see everybody who just was generally here and whatnot, feel free to check out my Twitter to see everybody's links, all of their Twitter handles, all of their Twitches. So yeah, just keep an eye on that. And with all that being said, thank you guys so much for coming to today's stream. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I'll have to figure out a new 2023 goal. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow for Spiral Reignited. And have a wonderful day, my shopties. Senupti.